I am Pericles, born in the bustling city of Athens in 495 BCE, a time when the city was beginning to blossom into a beacon of culture, intellect, and democracy. The golden age of Athens, as you may come to know it, would see the birth of many great things, and I had the honor of being at its helm for much of my life. From a young age, I was immersed in the ideals and philosophies that shaped the Athenian spirit. My father, Xanthippus, was a celebrated general, a man of immense courage who played a critical role in the defeat of the Persians at the Battle of Mycale. My mother, Agariste, came from the powerful Alcmaeonid family, descendants of noblemen who contributed to the city's foundations. With this lineage, it was almost inevitable that I would grow into a man deeply engaged in Athenian public life, though I could not have imagined then just how profound my impact would become. I grew up during a period of significant change in Athens, a time when the notion of democracy was taking root. The political scene of my youth was dominated by the great reformers, and the spirit of innovation seemed to be in the very air we breathed. I was a student of the great philosophers, including Anaxagoras, whose ideas about the universe and the nature of the gods influenced my worldview. The pursuit of knowledge, philosophy, and reason became my driving forces, tools I would later use in my political career. Athens was a democracy, but it was a delicate one, fraught with tensions between the elite and the common people. Early in my career, I aligned myself with the democratic movement, advocating for the power of the people, not the aristocracy, to guide our beloved city. I had a vision of Athens that was greater than any individual, and I wanted to ensure that the system we had built would outlast us all. My first significant achievement in politics came in the 460s BCE when I joined the campaign to strip the Areopagus, an aristocratic council, of its excessive powers. We believed that real democracy could not thrive while such a body still had so much control. With the reforms of Ephialtes, we successfully reduced the council's influence and transferred much of its authority to the democratic institutions of Athens, such as the assembly and the popular courts. Yet, as I rose in the political arena, I never relied on force. My strength lay in my words, the art of persuasion. I believed deeply in rhetoric, the ability to reason and appeal to the minds of the citizens of Athens. I never took the position of tyrant or king, yet for over 30 years, I was the foremost leader in the city, steering its course with my vision of democracy, military might, and cultural grandeur. As I grew more influential, I realized that Athens' prosperity could not be sustained solely through internal governance. We needed power and influence across the Greek world. The formation of the Delian League, originally intended as a defensive alliance against the Persian threat, provided us with this opportunity. By transferring the League's treasury from Delos to Athens, I secured not only wealth for our city, but also a means to project our power over other Greek city-states. Under my leadership, Athens transitioned from a mere city-state to an imperial power. We imposed our dominance over the Aegean, using our superior navy to secure trade routes and enforce our will. Our empire expanded, and with it, so did the wealth and splendor of Athens. Yet, I never sought to rule by fear. I believed in the moral superiority of Athens, that we were not just any empire, but one that spread the light of civilization, democracy, and culture. Even as some states chafed under Athenian rule, I maintained that we were a force for good, leading Greece into a brighter future. One of my proudest achievements, one that will outlast the memory of my very name, is the transformation of Athens into a cultural and architectural marvel. The Parthenon, the gleaming temple on the Acropolis dedicated to Athena, our city's patron goddess, was built under my watch. Its majestic columns, sculptures, and friezes stand as a testament to the artistic and architectural genius of the Athenians. But it wasn't just about temples or monuments. Athens, during my time, became the center of Greek culture. Theatrical festivals flourished, and playwrights like Sophocles, Euripides, and Aeschylus produced works that would resonate through the ages. The art of drama, with its exploration of human nature, was nurtured and elevated in the city I led. We also made advances in philosophy, history, and science. Men like Socrates began to question the nature of life and justice, laying the foundations for future generations of thinkers. I encourage this flourishing of intellect because I believe that the strength of a city was not just in its military might, but in the minds and spirits of its people. While Athens was at its peak in wealth and culture, I never lost sight of the principles that guided me from the beginning: the empowerment of the common citizen. I instituted pay for jury service, ensuring that even the poorest Athenian could participate in our legal system without suffering financially. I also extended citizenship laws, though this decision led to controversy. I wanted Athens to be a city of true Athenians, those born from Athenian parents. My belief in the people, in the democracy we had built, never wavered. I knew that our system was imperfect, but I also knew that it was the best hope for a just society. In the assembly, every citizen had a voice, and I trusted that, through reasoned debate, the best ideas would emerge. This belief sustained me even in the face of opposition and the hardships that came later in my life. For all our achievements, Athens was not without its enemies. The Spartans, with their militaristic society, viewed us with growing suspicion and envy. Our expansion of the empire and our growing influence over the Greek world did not go unnoticed. It was inevitable that tensions would flare into conflict. In 431 BCE, war broke out between Athens and Sparta, plunging Greece into a brutal and prolonged conflict that would come to be known as the Peloponnesian War. I had long foreseen the dangers of such a war and urged caution, but once it began, I was determined to lead Athens to victory. I devised a strategy centered on our strengths: the superiority of our navy, and the protection offered by the city walls. I advised the Athenians to avoid direct land battles with the Spartans and to instead rely on our naval dominance and the safety of our long walls. However, my strategy came with its costs. As the population of Athens retreated within the city, overcrowding and poor sanitation led to a devastating plague that struck in 430 BCE. Thousands perished, and among them were members of my own family, including my beloved sons. The plague weakened us, both physically and emotionally, and though I survived, the pain of that time never left me. The war dragged on, and though my policies were not always popular, I continued to advocate for what I believed was best for Athens. Yet, as the conflict wore on and my health declined, I saw that the war was eroding the very fabric of the society I had spent my life building. In 429 BCE, weakened by illness, I passed away, leaving Athens in the midst of a war that would eventually lead to its downfall. But my death did not mark the end of my vision. Even in defeat, Athens remained a beacon of culture, intellect, and democracy. The Parthenon still stands as a testament to our achievements. The works of our playwrights, philosophers, and historians continue to influence minds centuries after I am gone. I was not without flaws, and my policies were not without controversy. Yet, I hope that history will remember me as a leader who believed in the power of democracy, in the greatness of Athens, and in the potential of human reason and culture to shape a better world. Athens is not just a place, it is an idea that I devoted my life to. Through the triumphs and tragedies, the glories and the hardships, my life was dedicated to the belief that we, as a people, could create something extraordinary. And so we did.